Welcome to this series where we are taking a look at the A Republic is Born campaign in Workers and Resources Soviet Republic. This is a tutorial campaign which I'm just taking a look at partly as a curiosity, also in the fact that I want to open the next campaign, so we have to complete this. In the last part, the focus was on education and party loyalty. So we built a university down here and I think it's the headquarters, which also acts as a university. And then we put in some secret police. Oh, I've also put in an indoor pool just out of boredom when I was doing the research. And down here, we're also researching the establishment of a geology faculty, which will unlock the resources on the map. But in this part, if I come up to here, you'll see that we've now completed everything to do with the city. And what we're going to be doing now is going down the agricultural side, because I think that's the next logical step. It says the basics of agriculture. Greetings, comrade. I am Rostoya Antonov, a seasoned farmer of the Soviet Republic. With calloused hands and a heart deeply connected to the land, I stand as a testament to the resilience of our people. Allow me to illuminate the mechanics of collectivization, a vital step towards the unified, thriving agriculture future of our great nation. So, oops, back again. It says, fields are the lifeblood of the Soviet Republic, where sowing and harvesting yield precious crops to feed our citizens. So, what we got to do now is actually build 10 fields. And you can see down here the tutorial is indicating that we build 10 small fields, which makes sense because one thing about farms is they can take up a lot of space, especially if you're building with large fields, sorry, not farms. So we're going to build 10 small fields. I think what we'll do is I'm just going to push this road out a long way, just let it build. And then now, the first thing I want to show you, for anyone who's new to the game, and this is where it's something you need to be aware of, is it says here that a field needs 75 workers. Now, there's two things about that. One is you don't really need the workers because the farms in themselves is one of the few complexes which don't actually need workers. But if you do put a field, say, close to a residential area and the workers can actually get to it, they will go into the field and work, but they don't work all the time. They only work during the sowing season and during the harvesting season. So there is a way that you can actually raise crops without actually using a farm. But if you go down that route, you need to remember is that you need to have trucks to collect the crops, and more importantly, when we get the fields actually built, you'll see that you actually need fertilizer. I'm going to push the fields out quite some distance. I mean, normally I would plan. I think what we'll do is we'll go. Maybe just press the control key. We're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. I think we'll go out 5. Go out 5 that way. But 6, 7. Maybe we'll go this way a bit. Now, I'm not claiming this is the most efficient way to lay out a farm. So 9. I think that should be it, shouldn't it? Yep, 10 fields. And now farms in the Soviet Republic function as garages and storages where mechanisms send out tractors and sowing to combine harvesting and cover trucks and collecting things. Okay. Now, next thing we've got to do is actually connect all these up. So I'm going to send a road out. Oops. I'll snick that back a little bit. Now, I am building with asphalt roads simply because asphalt roads give you the best collection process. Come here, connect there, connect there, connect there. What's it saying now? There's a small farm. I think the small farm is sufficient. Now, one thing you do need, what we are going to need, is a silo. Probably not really, it's not 100% necessary for this example, but I'll put in a silo because when the crops come in, you get the crops come in a surge, and sure every field is connected to the fields. Okay. Was that okay? So what we got to do now is, this is the basics of agriculture: purchase and bring tractor, cover truck, and combine harvester. So it says we're going to buy one tractor. Personally, I'm going to get two. We need two combines, and we need two covered trucks. This is there. Liquid fertilizer will make your fields more profitable. Liquid fertilizer is spread using tractors when the fields are sown. Now, before we get into, so it says purchase, bring liquid fertilizer to the farm. Yep. Okay. Now, before we get into putting fertilizers on the field, I just want to show you a couple of things. The first thing is that the mode we're playing in now, which is not having seasons enabled, what happens is that the tractors go out, sow the field. You can see this field is actually being sown now. And then what happens is you have a growing period, which is the next bar down. Then the crops will be harvested and sent to the silo. Now, if you play with seasons enabled, you only get one crop cycle per year, which means that the tractors go out between the 4th of March and I think it's about the middle of May and sow the fields. Then you have a growing period that runs from the middle of May right through to the end of July. And then once you get to the end of July, then the crops are harvested through to, I think it's the end of November. Then you have a rest period, and then nothing happens until you get to March again for the next year. So you only get one crop per year. Now, this is something you do need to be a little bit aware of when you play with seasons enabled, because that one cycle also relates into what they've asked us to do next. If you look in here, you'll actually see that every field has a nutrient level which is shown up here. It says fertility is 95%. For every cycle, the actual level crops, what we got here, purchase, yes, I know, stop reminding me. Okay, I'll go and do it just to make them happy. Now, what we've got to do is set a route up now, and I think this is probably a good point to probably mention that if you're new to the game, before you do the campaign, do the tutorials, because it will give you the basics of being able to do this. And what we need now is, I think it's is it a waste truck? No, it's a oil tanker. Sorry, forgot. I was thinking in terms of, because there's two types of fertilizer. One is the one they've asked us to do, which is liquid fertilizer. So we need an oil tanker to do that. And the other is actually organic fertilizer, and that actually needs a waste truck. And what we're going to do is just set a quick route up, put there, and we'll just shove you in there. Tell you to wait until unloaded. And now, I want to say straight away that this is a very inefficient way to distribute fertilizer, but that's what the game wants us to do. The proper way to do it is to, we probably haven't got distribution offices. No, but we could put in we'll put a free distribution office in. So just drop that in there. And then once the truck's been done and we've met this requirement, we're let's do it the proper way. Because what you'll see is we click on the farm. We've got this here, right? So it's basics for it. There's sow 10 fields. Right, we're just gonna pick here and send you to there. Actually, probably get a second. Just get a second oil tanker. It's not like the game is. And then what we can do is on this to load liquid fertilizer, and we can come up here and set this to say 50%, and then that will go 8. Which fields haven't been sown then? Okay, so we've got 2 more fields to do. And what you will see if you click on the farm, you will get messages, especially when you play seasons, telling you when and what things can do. And if I show you here, you will see that the actual nutrient level is now 68.89. Now this nutrient fertility is pretty important, because from a small field you will get about just under 100 tons of crops. But if you've only got 68.89 fertility, that means this field is only going to yield 69 tons of crops. And you see this one here is a bit more efficient. This one will give you just over the 100 tons. Okay, so we've now filled it. It says when the time comes, the cover trucks will swiftly collect the, I think that's meant to be crops there. Keep working hard, and the prosperity waits for us for all. Okay, so we've now got this done. So we've done basics of agriculture. I'm going to do the food industry next. So I am Stanislav Sergeyev, the driving force behind the industrialization of food processing and alcohol manufacture in our great Soviet Republic. With unwavering dedication and a vision of progress, I stand ready to guide you through the crucial mission to send up our production of food and alcohol, ensuring a steady supply of sustenance and spirits to our citizens. Together we shall fortify our nation's prosperity and witness the fruits of our labor, fueling the strength of the Soviet Republic. So the food factory stands as a pivotal site in the Soviet Republic, where harvested crops are efficiently processed, transforming the raw produce into essential food and resources for our citizens. Okay, so we've got to build a food factory. Now the food factory is in the same area here. Now the first thing I want to show you here, and we are playing with pollution enabled, and you can see here the food factory needs 42 tons of crops to produce 20 tons of food. But in the process, it actually creates 7.8 tons of environmental pollution. So if you're planning your city, you don't really want it right next to your city. But at the same time, there is an argument where you can say, well, I want it fairly close, because I would like my citizens to walk to it. And what we're going to do is, because we're playing at such low level, and I want to keep this simple, what we're going to do is we're going to plot you a food factory. Actually, I think I'm going to put the food factory this way round, like that. And then, of course, we've got to connect it to the road, like that. And what we will do, if we use asphalt footpath, like that, we should be able to... I was hoping to get... Oh, we can... The distillery is a vital facility for the Soviet Republic that efficiently converts surplus crops into valuable alcohol through precise fermentation and distillation process. It plays a crucial role in bolstering the economy. Right, we can connect you up there. Okay, so we're going to put the distillery in. Well, I'm not going to build the most efficient of structures. And maybe if we bring that forward a little bit, I don't want to connect the like that. Oh, bugger. Okay, we're just gonna. You can expand the industry's internal storage by connecting warehouses via the connection. Yeah, thank you, King. It says, excellent work, comrade. With the food factory and distillery already in place, the objective is clear: to produce a specific amount of food and alcohol to bolster our nation's prosperity and provide our citizens. Your dedication to this task will undoubtedly contribute to the strength and well-being of the Soviet Republic. Let us get to work and ensure that our targets are met efficiently. So we've got to produce 20 tons of food. I'm just going to tidy this up. I thought I'd left enough space, but I hadn't. What I'm going to do is come off of here, connect to there. Connect up to there. And what you can do is just check the distance. Yep. What I will do is put a second footpath. We get through there. Come to there. And what I'm going to do is just try and make life a little bit easier. Going to, this is why I've kind of built this on the back here, like that. The reason I'm using a warehouse is to mitigate the effects of here, because what we're going to need to do is bring in some crops from the border. You can't wait for the farm to do it, because you can see here it's still growing, and I would like to move this forward. So we've got a pile of cash. So again, we're just going to come here, and we've only got 3 distribution offices, so we're gonna put in here. We're just gonna buy what we got here, 1, 2, 3. I'm just gonna, you can load crops, and this is importing crops for to make food is a good way to make your economy a little bit more self-sufficient. Now, one thing you do want to do is actually set this so that, greetings, I am Borislav Fedorov, Ministry of Transportation, Soviet Republic. As a seasoned logistics expert, I oversee the smooth movement of resources throughout our nation. If you find yourself short of crops in the food factory distillery, purchase the necessary crops directly from the buildings themselves, or you can click the buildings and use the icon at the top window. So what he's basically implying is that we could have just auto purchased, but I must admit I do struggle a little bit with the concepts of, now we do need make that up to about 100. Let me just see, just get this down here. Yeah, I mean, I could have used auto purchase, but where's the fun in that? And plus, we've got to wait something for things to be done, so let's get rid of ab. Just reduce you down to 118, and then what we do now is just get this going. And what you will see is that we get the crops starting to come into there, and we've got to produce 30 tons of food and 20 tons of alcohol. In fact, probably, I'm not sure why I thought it was 100 tons, but we'll just reduce this down. Generally, with this, when you're producing food and all that, it pays to do things. And the other thing you can do, if you want to be a little bit sneaky, is come here, oops, unload, you can come there, load food. Where did I put the food store? So we can just start getting our, now what we can hear, as you can see, this is now purchasing. You can set this to 100%, and what we can do now is come here, auto purchase, and we can just reduce this down a little bit, say to 97. Okay. Purchase the necessary crops from the buildings. Okay, you keep harassing me, so okay. What we'll do is we'll produce about 4 tons there, and we're obviously, the game wants me to do this, so I'm gonna purchase 4 tons there. So what we got now is we're importing the crops to here to produce what we need, and we are eventually we'll be taking some of the food back down to here, and maybe we've only got the 1 food truck, but we should be okay. Yeah, 100% food. We've got we've got the pub over here as well, but we'll just keep auto purchasing the pub. Right, we've got food, we just need another 3 tons of alcohol. just to give you an update of what's going on over here. You can see now that the chemical fertilizers being spread across the field. So if you come here, and there is actually an overlay. Oops, mission accomplished, comrade. Your hard work has paid off, and the specified quota of food and alcohol has been met. The Soviet Republic citizens are well fed and have access to essential spirits. Your dedication has furthered our nation's growth and prosperity. Keep up the excellent work. So we've done that. What we're going to do now is do the clothing industry. Oops, sorry. The fabric factory is where crops and chemicals are processed into high quality fabrics, providing the essential materials of clothing and citizens for the Soviet Republic with efficiency and precision. So we've got to build a fabric factory. I think what we'll do is, again, if I show you the fabric factory produces even more pollution. Oops, if I can show it to there. This produces 8.2 tons, but we need 20 tons of crops and 0.5 tons of chemicals to make 5 tons of fabric. Now, before we get going, I want to show you this, that you want the ratio, and this ratios between production factories is very important to get an efficient economy in this game. You can see a fabric factory actually produces 5 tons of fabric. A clothing factory only needs 2.4 tons of fabric. So if you wanted to min-max this, what you need to do is actually have one fabric factory for 2 clothing factories. I think what we're going to do is we're just going to put this out about here. Now, the other thing you'll also see is maybe I'm just a bit too quick there. The clothes factories efficiently turns fabric from the fabric factory into stylish garments, providing our citizens of the Republic with comfortable clothing, or with an eye on progress and efficiency. Yep. So consider building a clothes factory close to the proximity of the phone, connecting them with a factory connection. Within the setup, the production of fabrics can flow directly from the fabric factory to clothing factory, ensuring efficient production. Yeah, but we're not going to do that. What it says, okay, what they're showing here is what is a better setup. And what you've got is the fabric factory feeding into a warehouse, which is then supplying the clothing factory. This comes back to what I was alluding to, that you connect one fabric factory to 2 clothing factories. So you can even place a warehouse between factories, and it uses it as for a balance. Factory A can store its production in directly connected storage B, whilst Factory C can take resources from the production and the same directly from the connected to storage B. Oops. Okay, what this is showing is how not to do it, because the way the game works is that factories and anything that produces something can push to a warehouse because it's seen as an extension of the factory. And the same with what it says a D at the top. They can also pull from a warehouse, but warehouses or any storage facility is seen as passive. So a warehouse cannot push or pull from another warehouse. So in this situation, you only can need the one warehouse between. Now there is an option in the game where you can use forklift trucks to move between 2 warehouses, but be aware that it's very slow and it has its risks. Anyway, so I don't think I need to read the text because I think I just explained it. Right, so we've got to build a clothing factory, but what I want to show you first is that you will see that there's icons on here for water, but well, the level we're playing at the moment, that water is not actually applied. I think we're here. Let's drive through to there. We are going to put a warehouse in because it would go against the grain to. And I think what I'm going to do is, I think we're going to go this way actually. Like that. I'm aware that the pollution, see, because what that means is that you can then put in 2 clothing factories should you need it, because we've only got to build one. So and what we got here, and then we'll just connect these up. You can come to there. Wow, that was a bit close. And you can come to there. Excellent work. Our next objective is clear: to produce a specific amount of clothes and clothing factory with efficiency and industrialization. Let us strive to meet the goal and ensure our citizens are well clothed and dedication. Why is our happiness low? Okay, it's to do with student loyalty. Oh well, we're not worried about you. Okay, I've got a new type of... Right, let's just clear up this mess. Get rid of that. What we're going to do here is just auto purchase as they recommend. So well, we need some crops in 48 tons of crops. We also need some chemicals. Probably don't need 24 tons of crops, chemicals. Sometimes this can be a little bit... okay, we'll just buy them. Right, we've got to produce 25 tons of fabric. And again, what we're going to do is set a limit on this. 60 tons. Limit the chemicals. Take out food. Mechanical components. On the warehouse. Now what I've done is we're gonna have two-way connections here. So when this warehouse fills up, the clothes factory will push the clothes back to here. So we'll get this going. Let's just go and see how our farm's going. Okay, we're just about to start harvesting. So what we can do is just drop in another redistribution office. I'm kind of going a bit over top with the distribution offices. And then we can... What's the fastest thing we got? Nothing. Just because we're... Okay, we're going to go for 1, 2, 3. You can pick up crops from there. And I think we'll just deliver them to here. Put that to 100%. What will happen is, this is how you can use auto purchase as a backup. Because this has 150 tons, once the fields start, the crops start flowing into the into here, we can see it's already started. This guy will come down and put crops into here. He's only got about 10 tons. So what you will see now is the auto purchase has stopped because it's over the criteria of the auto purchase. So you can see the auto purchase is 72 tons. Once you go over, once the amount in the storage exceeds 72 tons, the auto purchase doesn't stop. So again, if you're learning the game, what you can do is, if you've got a crucial service that needs to be fully supported, you can set a minimum level on the auto purchase. And then what that will do is allow you to practice with the other ways. I mean, another example is the food supply in here. You can see the food supply now exceeds the auto purchase in here as well, which is 0.97 tons. So at the moment, as long as there's food being produced here, you can see we've got plenty of food. In fact, it was saying we cannot export or store food. So we've got a really reliable supply there. And what we could do, just to make it a little bit more elegant, these guys are... What are you doing? You're importing crops at the moment. In fact, you're not really doing anything, are you? So what we could do is... It's already set there, so you can set... That's a large customs head. This is the warehouse. Tell you to pick up alcohol there, and then you can deliver alcohol to here, 100%. What this guy will do is start delivering alcohol to the pub, and what that will mean is that the auto purchase that's running here will eventually stop as well. So if we follow, I think it's probably this guy if he turns right. Yeah. If you see here, so he's picked up 3 tons of alcohol, and he will now take that 3 tons here. And this is an example that the game is quite intelligent in the sense that it knows this only needs 3 tons. So though this truck has the capacity of 10 tons, it's only picked up 3 tons. and that now fills this up with alcohol. And what you can see now is the fact that this is dropping down slowly. Yeah, so when you're setting distribution systems up, especially to shops, you need to try and match the capacity of. Yeah, why is these residential people? This is a residential centre now. Well, what's up with these people? Now it's this. Why can't you get to the food store or something like that? What's affecting these guys? You've got everything, and the only thing you haven't got is alcohol. I think they're just being miserable. It's okay, we'll just ignore them. They're only students. So what we got to do now is just play on. You can see we've got 25 tons of fabric in here. And of course, if we could also do is make some cash from this by exporting it to the border, but that's not the remit of this tutorial. So we're just gonna. What I'm going to do now is just let the game run. In fact, I'll just show you up here first before we do it. You can see now that this field is being. Says here, fields require workers and mechanisms still. Fields have very low fertility. Yeah, you can see what's happened with this field is it's now dropped below 35%. And if you come into here, what you will see is there's a minimum fertility. What that means is these fields, until they get some more chemicals put onto them, what you can do, but what we might be able to do is, oops, no, just give them a look, oops, no. What we could do is, oh, I only let us auto purchase. Oh, that's interesting. I never knew that. Never mind, not that I ever use auto purchase, but what you see here is that the fertility is dropping low. But what we should have here, if you watch this tractor very, very carefully, you see this tractor's got a field on the bottom here, and we'll just see where he's going. And this is one of the problems you get is if you've got slow tractors, they slow up your trucks. But of course, if you're playing with seasons enabled, you won't get this situation as such, simply because the trucks themselves won't be running when the fields are being sown. But what can happen is the combines can do this. So it looks like they're going there. So the nutrient level here is 17%. But if you watch now, this is quite interesting. What you see is this guy will, oh no, he's sowing because it's 56%. Okay, yeah, sorry, bit of a misleader there. Sorry, guys, apologise. I've got a feeling that the fertilizer system doesn't work that well when you're playing with this mode with seasons disabled. I can't prove it. If any of you guys know, feel free to chuck it in the comments, because quite often what happens is when you've got seasons enabled, the tractors will go out and spread the chemical fertilizer during the growing season, and then the natural fertilizer is spread during the winter by your trucks. The one thing I will say is if you watch this very carefully, this fertility will slowly get back to 50%. So, but now that's past 50%, what you'll see is a tractor will come out. So fertility, if a field is left alone, the fertility will slowly get back again. But the problem is that, and which will work with respect to this, but you'll always be down about 50%, which means your farm won't be all that efficient. Obviously, it's taken a little while to get some clothes in here. Probably got too many workers in here. We could probably reduce the number of workers here, because we don't need that workers. We need more workers in here. Could probably get a few more workers by reducing the hospital coverage a little bit. Anyway, I think what I'm going to do now is just wait for the clothes to be manufactured, and I'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. We're just coming up to the 20 tons of clothes. One thing I did do is put in some footpaths here, and it seems to have attracted more workforce, because by putting in the asphalt footpath, I've kind of expanded the range of the coverage for the factories to a wider area. So we've so hopefully we'll get this done. I say 20, so that should be it. Just wait for the game to wake up. Is it going to do something? Or is it going to be 21? I'm not exactly sure. There it is. Excellent job, comrade. Meeting the clothing production objective was a remarkable achievement. Our citizens are now well clothed and ready for the future. Your efforts have been set the stage for potential export opportunities, showcasing the strength of our Soviet Republic. Let's continue the progress together. So what we got here, okay. You need distribution office to research this. I should have done this before. I didn't realize. What we need is distribution offices here. This is going to take a little while, guys. So, okay, welcome back. We're just about coming up to complete the research of distribution offices. And what you've got to do if you want to do this research is, if I come to here, we go down to this area here, if I can find it. What you'll see is that it's actually 2 levels of research. So you've got to do logistics optimization and distribution offices to unlock the final step, which is down here. So we can now click on this. There's the setup for facilities that supply shops with essential goods and services. There's, as second secretary of the Communist Party, I'm saying that achieving self-sufficiency is crucial. Resources are paramount to our nation's stability. Through the successful establishment of our food and alcohol and clothing industries, we are well on our way to relying on our own production. By producing these essential internally, we can decrease the dependence on external suppliers and strengthen our economic resilience. With these industries in place, we can reconsider discontinuing the need to purchase them. So, okay. Distribution offices are important to building our logistics network. Equipped with cargo trucks, and this facility manages movement of goods efficiently, and your own responsibility is assigning loading and loading points to the trucks. Once assigned, the distribution office automates something. So for a distribution office to function effectively, it requires a proper configuration. Distribution offices require vehicles that will transport goods between warehouses and shops, purchase covered whole trucks to transport food and alcohol, designate factories and warehouses containing food, alcohol, and other sources, points, and set up the shops to designated destinations. Now, really, I've just covered that earlier. So what's it? Shops and pubs are the same name. Set up all shops and the destination in for one distribution office. Great. So what we're going to have to do is build a distribution office, which is in here. I think we only need 5 trucks. So what we'll do is we'll just tuck you in there. Okay. Set you up as the source. What we will do is, one thing you can do is, we're using this truck here, isn't it? So what we can do is, where is it? It says change workplace all vehicles. Let's do that. What that will do is send all the vehicles to here. Now the reason there's no goods offered is because the game doesn't know what vehicles we've got in there. So unload. And right, so what we've got to do now is pick up that. So what we say now, I like to just specify what we've got to pick up. So, and then if you don't specify anything, what will happen is that this will just get they will pick up from the respective resources and drop off. Sure that you're not importing any food, clothes and alcohol while all your shops are constantly being supplied. I think 50 days of food. I think what that actually does. So we've got to have 50 days of food and alcohol for self-sufficiency. I'm not exactly sure what that actually means. You're not importing any food or clothes and alcohol. So what we got to do now is go round and cancel all the auto purchases. Clear all. Oops. What we are going to need to do is import electronics. So what we'll do is we'll do it properly, so we got control of the electronics. Load electronics from there. Yeah, what we got to do is just get rid of the auto purchase from that. We've got to get rid of the Uses auto purchase. Yes, I know. Don't tell me. Give me a chance. Click that. What that? Is that all the auto purchase we got? Yeah, that's. Oh, we need a meat truck as well. I think what we can do is, I've kind of been a bit too enthusiastic here. So set to auto purchase the meat. That's not part of the thing. So effectively, what we're going to do now is just wait 50 days to prove that we've set up as a pretty good distribution system. Yeah, I kind of jumped the gun there, guys. So we've got everything set up here. We could probably do. We don't need that many, but maybe just get another one for luck. And so we've got to go 50 days without anything going. The one thing I do want to check is, and do this research here. Anyway, guys, there's not much I can do. I've just got to wait 50 days now for this to finish. So I'll be back in 47 days. Okay, welcome back. We're just coming up to our 50 days of self-sufficiency in food, clothes and alcohol. And while that's been running, I've just been kind of messing around a bit. Oops, we just finished. Okay. Well done, comrades. Our efforts towards self-sufficiency have paid off. We now enjoy a steady and reliable supply of food, alcohol, and clothes to our shops and pubs. Your dedication to strengthen our internal industries, ensuring our well-being of our citizens, is truly commendable. This achievement marks a significant step towards the prosperity and stability of the Soviet Republic. So we've now completed that, and the coal mining will be the subject of the next part. But just to give you a bit of an update, because it took such a long time to do it, what I've done is I've started exporting the surpluses, so we are actually making a profit. In fact, we made a profit last month of 51,000, and I think the profit here, and what we're actually doing, if I show you the exports, we're exporting the surplus clothes, alcohol and fabric. You can see clothes is the most profitable, and if I show you the imports, you can see that we're importing crops, chemicals and meat and liquid fertilizers. There's also electronics in there as well. But electronics is relatively small, so you can see that if you when you first start out, even if you are auto purchasing or importing crops and chemicals using trucks, if you've got the industries and you've got enough workforce, you can actually turn quite a nice profit just by importing the raw resources like we've done here, and also be self-sufficient in what you've got. You can also see that the town has also grown now. We've now got a population of 3,289, and I don't think we've actually got any unemployment at the moment. Anyway, and the other thing I want to show you is that we were researching the geology on this side. So I've now opened up here, and if I click here and lock the coal, I'm going to guess that we're going to be actually developing coal out here, which is going to be quite long range actually. But you can see we've got copper, steel or iron, oil, and a little bit of uranium. Wow, this is quite a thing. Oh, we haven't researched uranium and bauxite at the moment, so we can't see where that actually is on the map. Anyway, this is where I'm going to leave it. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you found it interesting. Any comments, suggestions or questions, feel free to chuck it in the video description. Until next time, whatever you do, enjoy your gaming.